Are home prices in the Austin suburbs crashing? Let's talk about it. I'm an Austin realtor, and today we are focusing on the suburbs of Austin, specifically the suburbs to the north and the south. So we've seen a big shift in the narrative of who's buying homes where over the past few years. So when COVID first started, there's a mass exodus of people from city centers going to the suburbs because they wanted more, a bigger house. They wanted a home office. They wanted a larger backyard. They ended up just spending more time at home. So people were moving out of the cities. Over the past couple of years, as employers have brought people back into the office, the narrative now is that the people in the suburbs now want to be closer to work again, so they're selling their homes in the suburbs and moving back into the cities. So what I have been told is that there's a huge price jump in the suburbs more than in the city centers, and that now it is crashing because people are moving back into the city. So the question I wanted to answer today is, are home prices really crashing in the suburbs? So today we are looking at the two counties to the north and south of Austin. That is what accounts for the majority of people living in the suburbs. So to the north, we have Williamson County. Now, Williamson County is extremely large. It is has a lot of different suburbs in it. It has Round Rock, Pflugerville, Georgetown, Cedar Park, and Leander. And to the south, we have Hays County. Hays County is directly south of Austin. It has Buda, Kyle, and San Marcos in it. So what I wanted to look at was what are prices doing in each of these two counties of the suburbs of Austin, and also what is inventory like in these areas. So first up, we're going to be talking about sales price. So both of these graphs start at January 2020 and they go up until October of 2024. So first you can see that prices steadily grew between 2020 and 2021. There wasn't any major jumps happening. And then once 2021 hit, prices shot up. People were feeling more confident about the economy. They're more used to, COVID regulations. And that's when really the squeeze for households started to come into play. So in 2021, we had a huge amount of buyer demand coming through. We had record low interest rates, and homes were just flying off the shelf. They would be, on the market for 3 days and get 40 offers. It was an insane time. It was very difficult representing buyers because we'd be putting in all these offers and we would just get outbid by someone paying $100,000 over paying all cash. I remember one time I had these buyers that just were done searching. We lost out on a bunch of offers and they told me to write up 7 offers in one day. Ultimately, they got one, but it just goes to show how things were just crazy during that time. So home prices jumped in 2021 and continue to keep increasing into 2022. And then around June of 2022, that's when we hit the peak. That's when interest rates started going up from 3% up to 5.5%, 6%. And then since June of 2022, we've seen home prices steadily decrease. So as you can see here on this graph, the trend is very similar. We've seen, the big jump in 2020, 2021, and then the steady decrease over the past couple of years. The one thing that's really interesting to me on this one is how the Williamson County homes are maintaining their price better than the Hays County homes. Now, I have a number of thoughts on this. My main theory is that Williamson County is more developed than Hays County. The homes there are, some parts of Williamson County are older, more established, and lack the brand new inventory. One example of this is Cedar Park. Cedar Park has largely been built out. There's hardly any new construction still happening in Cedar Park. And Cedar Park's in Williamson County. Now compare that to, Kyle, Texas, where everything is new construction. 75% of the homes were built after the year 2000, and they're just trying to build as many homes as possible. When you have a lot of new construction going up, prices were being inflated much more than existing homes, and then the builders had to scale back on the prices in order to still attract that demand. So I think for that reason in Hays County, we saw a huge jump up because we had more new construction inventory, and then prices came down more drastically because the builders needed to keep dropping prices in order to entice buyers to keep coming through. So that is a look at the price differences between these two counties. And now I wanted to look at the inventory for these two counties as well. Again, 2020 to 2022, we see a huge buyer pool coming into the market. There is record low inventory and homes are just getting purchased immediately. So you can see the inventory of homes comes to an all-time low, and things are just flying off the shelf really. Then again, around the middle of the year, we see an uptick in inventory. Homes are sitting on the market longer. It's more expensive to buy a home, and the buyers are pulling back. One thing to note about inventory is a balanced market is considered 4 months or more of inventory. And if you look at 2020 to 2022, on a lot of this, we're less than 1 month of inventory. So basically that means there's extremely high buyer demand, and sellers can basically name their price and they'll get whatever they want for it. As you look from 2022 to 2024, you see an increase in inventory, and ultimately we get up almost to that 4-month mark in Williamson County, and we actually exceed that in Hays County. So again, this goes back to my theory about the amount of new homes being built in Hays County is exceeding the Williamson County, and that is what's driving this increase in inventory. So new construction homes typically sit on the market longer, so that means inventory accrues faster. So it's not uncommon for a new construction home to be listed for 6 months before it finally gets purchased, whereas a existing home, if you're just a normal home seller, probably going to want to sell that home faster than 6 months. So for that reason, I think that Hays County has significantly higher inventory, and that the levels are much higher and have been maintained over the past couple of years than in Williamson County. So to answer the question, are home prices in the suburbs crashing? Personally, I don't think so. If you look back at the price point graph, over the past year and a half, home prices are pretty much stagnant. Yes, there's, slight variance, but it's not indicative of a crash. If you look at, the middle of 2022, we saw a 15 to 20% price drop. Now that is worthy of a crash, but it's been pretty steady for the past year and a half, and interest rates have been high for the past year and a half. There haven't been a lot of variance. So personally, I don't think there is going to be a crash coming for the home prices, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment down below, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.